Herriman is one of the fastest growing cities in America, and the number one question I get from people moving here is it about to be overbuilt? Am I buying at the top? It's a fair question. I'm Kelsey Earl with Keller Williams South Valley, and I'm going to give you the honest answer, including the parts that aren't great for me as a realtor to admit. Subscribe if you want straight talk on the Utah market. Let's get into it. I've lived here in Herriman for 16 years. Whether you're already here or you're thinking about moving here, I'd love to help you. And I actually have time for you. Let's make the worries case first. Fairly, the build out here is enormous. Rosecrest, Panorama, South Hills, thousands of planned homes on the South Hillside under development agreement approved back in 2024. Townhomes and multi-family are over 40% of the housing. When you drive around, it can genuinely feel like the whole city is under construction at once. And the honest economic point is supply ever outruns demand. That can pressure prices. I'm not going to pretend that risk doesn't exist. It's the real question. And there's a second worry underneath the first one. It's not just the number of homes, it's the kind of homes. When a city adds a lot of similar products all at once, say block after block of the same townhome floor plan, those homes end up competing directly with each other on resale. If you own one of 200 nearly identical units and 40 of them are listed the same spring, you don't have much that makes yours stand out. That's the version of overbuilt that actually hits an individual owner's wallet, even when the city overall is doing fine. The third piece is timing. A lot of this construction was planned when rates were lower and demand was red hot. Building doesn't stop on a dime. Projects approved 2 years ago are still being delivered today. So it's fair to ask whether some of this supply is arriving into a slightly cooler market than the one it was designed for. That's a reasonable question, and anyone who waves it away isn't being straight with you. Let's define the word, because people throw overbuilt around without saying what it means. A market is genuinely overbuilt when supply outruns real demand for long enough that you get rising vacancy, homes sitting unsold for months, and builders cutting prices to move inventory. That's the actual signature, not just lots of construction. Construction by itself isn't overbuilding. A growing city is supposed to be building. So the honest test isn't, do I see cranes? It's, are finished homes sitting empty? Are days on market climbing month after month? And are builders slashing prices to clear stock? Those are the 3 warning lights to actually watch. If you want to fact check me or any agent, those are the numbers to ask for, not vibes from a drive down the main road. So let's run Herriman through that test. One, demand is still strong. Homes are closing at about 99% of the list price in roughly 24 days, and inventory is actually down 10% year over year. Homes are selling near full price in under a month is not what a glutted market looks like. 2, the growth is being planned, not chaotic. Roads, water lines, and utilities are increasingly being built before the homes now. Through new public infrastructure financing districts, that matters because the nightmare version of overbuilding is homes going up faster than the infrastructure to support them. And Herriman is sequencing it the other way around. 3, the Mountain View corridor becoming a full freeway historically pulls demand towards a city, not away from it. Better access tends to make a place more desirable over time, not less. It's one of the reasons I'm not personally worried about the long arc here. And for the big picture, 1, Utah has a genuine ongoing housing shortage and one of the youngest, fastest growing populations in the country. Those young families need somewhere to live, and the southwest side of the valley is where there's actually room to build. The demand isn't speculative, it nuance. People forming households who need homes. That's the healthiest kind of demand there is. Here's the nuance most takes miss. The answer depends on who you are. Let me split it. If you're a short-term buyer, you think you might sell or move in 2 or 3 years, you do need to be careful, especially with that high supply townhome product I mentioned. In a city adding inventory this fast, the people most exposed are the ones who have to sell soon into a wave of similar listings. If that's you, be picky or consider a more established, finished neighborhood where you're not competing with brand new construction down the street. If you're a long-term buyer, you're moving your family here and planning to stay 5-10 years, the overbuilding question barely touches you. You'll ride straight through any short-term supply bump. You lock in today's price and you benefit from every bit of growth, the new freeway, the new amenities, all of it. For most of the families I work with, that's the situation. And for them, the honest answer is buy the right home, don't overthink the macro. So here's my honest take. Herriman isn't overbuilt today. Demand is keeping up, but you do need to buy smart because in a city this new, not every home will hold its value equally. 3 rules. 1, buy a lot you cannot replace. A view, a cul-de-sac, backing open space because the house 3 streets over will always be newer than yours. So your edge has to be the land, not the finishes. 2, know what's being built behind you. Pull the master plan and the zoning before you commit so the empty field doesn't become a surprise. 3, think in years, not months. Herriman rewards people who plan to actually live here, not in flip in 18. And 1 bonus rule, because it's the single best protection against any oversupply, avoid the most generic product in the most saturated category. If there are already 200 identical units and hundreds more coming, that's the segment with the most competition. The more your home stands apart, a real lot, a distinct location, something they can't reproduce 3 streets over, the more insulated you are. If the market softens, scarcity protects value, sameness doesn't. Bottom line, I'd still buy in Herriman in 2026. I live here, but I'd be picky about where. The city isn't overbuilt, but it is big and varied, and the difference between a home that holds value and the one that lags comes down to choosing well. If you want help finding the home here that'll actually hold your value, that's exactly what I do. I'm Kelsey Earl with Keller Williams South Valley. Call me or text me 801-419-8917 or send me an email at kelsey.earl@kw.com. Subscribe for weekly honest Utah real estate info and watch my full breakdown on Herriman.